Welcome back, Wogglers. So we're talking about blueprints. If you have not yet watched the blueprint overview video, please go and watch that. There's some really important information there, and also if you are seeing if blueprint might be the right solution for you, I want you to watch that video first because it might not be the right solution for what you're trying to achieve. All right, so we're jumping back into it here. So as we know on our deal, so let's take a look at it. We have our stage, our stage progression up at the top. And so what we're doing is we're going to, essentially we're going to require certain information at certain stages, and then we're gonna have automations happening. We're making this a much more structured process, a lot less fluid than the user just being able to kind of jump between stages. All right, I'm gonna go back over my blueprint. So far I've gotten all of my stages in here in the right order, and then I've created these lines that go from one of these little stage boxes to the next, and we can start creating our transitions now. All right, so the first transition is we're gonna call collect destination. All right, so the idea here in our pretend business process is that we are creating, and booking these different destinations for groups. So an initial inquiry has come in from a group, and one of the first things we have to do before we can research the destination is collect the destination. So I'm going to say that this particular transition is owned by the record owner. Whoever is taking that initial inquiry should be in charge of collecting this information. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to require some fields. We need the closing date to be collected at this point because closing date, at least for our company, we use that to be the initial date of when they want to travel. And then we're going to type in, or we're going to have them fill out the description because that's where they're going to log the potential destinations that this group wants to travel to. And we're also going to have them fill out the budget. All right, so those are the three fields that we want to require them to fill out at this point. The other thing that I kind of want to show you what we can do is we're going to create a message specifically for the user. So we're going to say, don't forget to ask how many travelers. So there we go. Don't forget to ask how many travelers. Great, so we got that going for us. We have the three fields that we need them to fill out at this point so that the next stage of research destination will have all of the information they'll need. One thing to think about is in the pop-up during this transition, once you've clicked that collect destination button, all of this information is going to populate in the order in which you've added it here. So if you want the message to be up at the top, you click these little arrow buttons and you move it up to the top. All right, so that's kind of your before it belongs to the record owner. During, you leave this message, collect all this information. And then we have our after. So after, we can send an email notification. We can create tasks automatically, meetings. We're gonna go through all of that on a different, on a different video. So right now, we're just gonna be really focusing on this before and during. All right, so the next one, after you've researched the destination and you're building the itinerary, let's call this button destination chosen. There we go. So we got our destination chosen. This is going to belong to the record owner, but also we have specific roles that will help out in this destination research. So we want them to be able to move it through destination chosen as well. So we're going to add them to the permissions of this transition button so that the record owner or the operations team can move it through to destination chosen. All right, and then during, we want them to leave a note that says the destination that has been chosen. And notes are actually underneath associated items. Now, I want to kind of point out really quick that we left a message. So a message is something that when you click the transition button after we've published this blueprint, once you click that transition button, you'll be able to see the message. But the notes that I'm talking about are the notes, like the actual on the record notes. We can mandate someone to add a note, and that's what we're going to do here. So underneath associated actions in the drop down here, you can say note, and you can mark that as mandatory. So what we're going to have them do is they're going to fill out a note that says the destination that has been chosen. All right, and then we'll be in the build itinerary stage. In order to get to the build itinerary stage into the deposit paid stage, we're going to create a little button that says, honestly, deposit paid, because that's what we're looking for here. Deposit paid. Now, one thing that is really fun that I particularly like to do with blueprints is this little colorful drop down here. You can change the colors of your buttons. That also, it gives you a little bit of joie de vivre, and makes it exciting for the user. Also, if you have multiple buttons that will show up in different places, it is kind of nice to have the buttons all be different colors so that it's very clear that they do different things. All right, so we're going to give that one to not only the record owner, but also to the sales department head, because that's the person that takes deposits in our company. So that person can move that through as well. All right, so then after the deposit has been paid, we're gonna go into the book, food, board, and travel. Start booking. We're gonna add that to be this lovely kind of bluish purple. And here we're going to, again, we're going to create a checklist because there's a couple of different things that need to happen. So you have to create a title for your checklist. So we can call this the booking checklist. All right, so booking checklist. Let's do hotels or board booked. And then we're gonna do food booked. And then we're gonna do travel booked. There we go. So in order to move to the book, food, board, and travel, they have to actually check these items off of their checklist. And let's go ahead and say that along with that, we're going to require them to fill in some notes as well. They being the user. All right, so now we've got that. And then we're gonna move after into the invoicing stage. So this one is going to be send invoices. Gonna make that green again. Green for money. And this one is actually not gonna be owned by the record owner. We want only specific people to be able to do this. So we're gonna add the sales department head and the CEO, but we're gonna take off the record owner. So the record owner can actually not move this through after send invoices. That is only somebody a little bit higher up in charge of money. All right, so once that's done, we're in the invoicing stage, and the last thing is closed won. And we're gonna call this Bon Voyage. If I can spell Bon Voyage. I speak English. Have a great trip. There we go. And we'll make this one this lovely purple. All right, and the record owner can move that one through. And we're not gonna have anything during this one. This is when it's just gonna be a pretty simple move it to closed won because the invoicing has been collected. And there you go. Now we have completed our blueprint. We've got transitions all the way through. We went all the way to closed won. All you have to do is click publish, and then it will apply this blueprint to all of the deals that meet the criteria. And then we all set. So we're going to click publish. And there we go. Now we have this lovely deals blueprint for our service deals. And I'll go over what it looks like in the next video. Woggle woggle.